Okay, so what I want to do is I need to change the size of this room. So as you can see, I can move this around, and I can position it in whatever place I want. So what do I do if I want to change the size of this zone? If I click on the corners, as you can see, this corner corresponds to these values. So what I can do is, for example, this corner number 4, which I clicked, has the values of 0 and 2.054. So for example, if I want the length of this side to be 2 meters, I can just click on this point here, and I see it has 2.91. So if I change that to 2, I will get the length of 2. And it's a bit or tricky if I want to set the width of this building. For example, if I click on this point here and I want the length of this side to be for example 3 meters, then I need to change the y value, and as you can see, I have to compare this point to this point over here, which is point number 4. So I want to add 3 meters to the y position that this point has. So I just add 3 to this, so it should be 5.054. And now we have 3 meters on this side, and I have also 2 meters on this side. So I can change, now I can change these values. As you can see, if I click on this point here, then this should have an x value the same as the one below. So you should have 2, and you should have the same y value as the one above, which is 5.054. So now I have a room that's 2 meters times 3 meters in height, and I can move this room and place it in whatever position I like. Okay, so now I've created my zone, and here we can move it around and place it in whatever position we want to, and also we can see the information on this room or zone that I created. We have the x value is 2 meters, and the y value is 3 meters in length. And we also have the total square meter floor area, which is 2 times 3/6, and also the volume. And it also has the software will set the height of the zone, which in this case is 2.6 meters, and this can be changed to another value if you want to. Okay, so this wraps up the tutorial part on how to create a zone. And the next part is actually creating several of this zone to complete your building. Okay, so one thing that you can do when you are creating multiple zone is you basically can use the command. If you mark this zone, you can right click on it and use the copy function and then paste, and then you have a copy of your zone. So in this case, for example, if I want to just quickly copy up several zones that I have, I'm just going to make some zones over here. Let's say I'm going to create just fast a few zones over here. You can also use the keyboard command Control C and Control V to copy paste these zones. Then you can just pull them out here and you can adjust them then later on. So I'm just going to quickly create a few zones here. Let's see if I do this. Just going to create a few zones. I'm going to have a hole over here, and then I'm going to have room over here. From time to time you will get some warning in this part of the software. And basically what's happening is that, for example, if you go outside the boundary of your building, or if you overlap the zones onto each other, then you will get this warning, but you can fix this. So it's just some information about what's happening with your building. So I'm trying to draw a building here, and I'm just going to use let's see if I can, yeah, I could probably use like 2 more zones over here. And then I'm going to create another zone over here. So and up until now you have learned how to create just square type zones. You can also create special geometries for the zone. It doesn't have to be square. For example, if I want to create a zone that looks like this, as you can see, it's an L shaped on the side. So again, I can just copy paste over here, and then you could do something like this. I will allow it to be drawn to here, and then here I can if I right click on this zone, I can choose edit. In the edit mode you can input extra points or extra yeah, you can call it extra points, and you do this to be able to create other shapes than squared ones. For example, I need for example, if I want to fill out this empty space with this zone that I have here, then you can calculate, okay, I will need 1 point here, 1 point here, and 1 point here. So this means I need 1, 2, and then the third one I have it already here. So I need 2 extra points. So I just can click 1 and 2. So I need 2 points, and you can click on done. So what happens now is that, for example, I can either, let's see if I can fix this. Okay, so what I need to do is these points will be shown in this table, as you can see. So I can just input the values I want for these points. For example, if I move this way, I think it's better if I just do it like this, and then I can, if I choose this point over here, I can say, as you can see, the y direction or the y position is 8. Actually, it's the x I want to change to, for example, 4. And as you can see, it will move forward, and then I can put, let's see here. Let's see if I can do this. Yeah, this will follow, as you can see. So I have to input this manually. I can probably use like 10, 12. Okay, it's too much. Something like that, and then this point over here, x value 11, and the y value should be the same as the previous. Let me see, 7.73. Okay, so I have, as you can see, I created a zone that fills out this empty space over here, and I can probably fix this point over here, should be a little bit wider. It's too much. Okay, so just make sure that you don't go outside your boundaries when you're creating this zone, or that they don't overlap each other. It's also because you'll get these error messages, and you can actually clear this if you want. So okay, now I have a building with the various zones, and now we can actually start creating windows and doors and some other components of the building. Okay, so before we do that, it's a good idea to go back to the General tab and start looking at your default values. And here you can see the zones that I created in the floor plan section. And here we have all the zones that I created. And here you can see, for example, this is zone 2, this is zone 4. Just hover over the zones and you will see the names of them. And these names, you can of course change them by clicking rename, or just double click. Actually I have to right click and choose rename, and for example zone 1 should be bedroom 1, for example. So I can see, as you can see, you can actually change the names. And in the group section you can group together several zones into one group, so it will be easier to handle, but for this part we're not going to bother with the group. And here is the information about each of the zones, and we will go through these settings further into the tutorial. Okay, so the next part I wanted to talk about is here we need to input some of the components that you need, like windows, what kind of walls we have, interior exterior walls, the floor, the roof, if you're going to implement doors, and so on. So if you have a building that's have this a lot of the same type of like the interior wall is the same for all the rooms, the exterior wall is the same, you have a lot of windows that are the same, and so on, then it's a good idea to go into the general tab and click on the default